achintyam avyapadeshyam ekatma pratyayasaram prapanchopashamam shantam shivam advaitam chaturtham manyante sa atma sa vigneyah. This is one of the most precise definition of Turiyam we will ever find in our Shastra. Whatever is included in this mantra is supposed to be included. Whatever is not included is not necessary. And because of such a precise definition, this Upanishad gains the status of one of the most important Upanishads in the four Vedas. Over here, Nanta Prajnam, this mantra starts out by saying that Turiya Avastha, Turiyam, I cannot even call it Avastha again for the medium of communication, I am using the word Avastha, but this Turiyam is Nanta Prajnam. It is not the inner consciousness which enlivens the inner world, the inner dream world. Na Bahish Prajnam, this consciousness is not this consciousness which is the experience of the waking world. So this Na Anta Prajnam, there is no dream state, there is no waking state, no Bhayata Prajnam, there is no in between of the two states. Even that threshold over here is negated just so that there remains absolutely no confusion and doubtless understanding of this Chaturtham, the Turiyam, takes place. So, no Bhayata Prajnam, then Na Prajnana Ghanam, it is over here, Na Prajnana Ghanam, it is not even a mass of consciousness which is lying in its dormant state over here, what is referred to as the deep sleep state, that it is not just this, even this mass of awareness is not that. Na Prajnam, neither is it the consciousness of the objective reality. It is not just a consciousness over here that aware of the objective reality. It is devoid of that. Na aprajnam. So when we say that this consciousness is consciousness and this consciousness is unconsciousness, the consciousness and the unconsciousness, they are both known to the awareness. When somebody is aware, the world of the movable objects is known over here as prajnam. All awareness of all beings, of all time, knowing the objective reality, that is negated, that it is not even the reality which reveals, that is not Chaturtham, it is not Turiyam, it is not exclusive awareness. So, na prajnam, na prajnam, na aprajnam, neither is it this absolute void, the unconscious state of the existence of people suspended. It is not that, not of a drunkard state, neither is it the state of the simple dead matter objective reality, even that is not it. Then what is it? Adrushtam, this awareness, Turiyam, exclusive pure existence, is Adrushtam, it cannot be seen. Avyavaharyam, it cannot be transacted. Agrahyam, the karmendriyani cannot capture it. Neither can the karmendriya, the organs of action, cannot capture it. Then when it is said that avyavaharyam, the organs of perception cannot utilize it for any transaction. Alakshanam, it cannot be indicated. Agrahyam, even the organs of action cannot grab it. Even the subtle organs, the mind and the intellect, cannot grasp it with some concept, with some emotion, with some feeling. That can also be added over here as agrahyam. Alakshanam, it cannot be indicated with any qualities. Achintyam, it cannot be thought of. Avyapapadeshyam, it cannot be described. And ekatma pratyasaram, this is a very, very important definition. Ekatma pratyasaram. This is so important because what is known over here is when I experience the waking world, when I experience the waking state, I say that I am experiencing the waking world. I am awake. When I am dreaming, I say that I have a dream, that I have dreamt. I had this dream. When I say that I had a dreamless, wonderful sleep, Sukhena maya nidra anubhuyate, I had a very good experience of sleep last night. When I say that I am awake, I am dreamer, that I am sleeper, these are not three distinct personalities. The knower of the waking experience, the knower of the dream experience, and the knower of the deep sleep experience, that knower is one and the same. The knower are not three distinct beings, they are one and the same, and that is Ek Atma Pratyasaram. It is the essence of knowing. I experience the waking world, and the essence of the experience is known, and it is retained in memory. The whole experience is not recorded, just the essence of the experience is recorded, and that is Ekatma Pratyasaram. Whatever basks, whatever is bathed in this awareness while the experience is experienced, that is Ekatma Pratyasaram. This is very important. This is a window into Turiyam. This is the window into this exclusive consciousness. While experiencing the waking world, if I shift my attention to the one who experiences, I look at the looker from the two eyeballs, and the one who knows. When I look at that ahankar who is owning up the experience, what makes the ahankar possible is pure awareness. And this pure awareness and ahankar, they never ever meet. Yet ahankar cannot exist without consciousness. There does not exist a layer on a white screen in the movie theater on which the movie touches. The movie can never touch the screen, and that is ek atma pratyaya saram. The ego, even though it is alive, ego, even though it experiences the experiences and owns up my body, my mind, my intellect, even though the ego owning that up, and the awareness which lends its sentiency to the jada ahankar, that sentient consciousness can never ever meet the jada ahankar, the jada ego, the matter ego and the conscious awareness. They can never intermingle. That is very important. This is called unbroken self-awareness, ekatma pratyaya saram. If while watching the movie the screen disappears, we will scream out, because the movie experience also disappears. It is the screen that allows the movie experience. So the screen is ever present. That is ekatma pratyaya saram. It is very important. We should meditate upon this, and we should invoke this on our daily basis in living. Learn to observe the observer, and where the observer is observed, there is no experience. It is presence. It is known. It is exclusive knowledge. That exclusive knowledge, ekatma pratyaya saram, prapanchopashamam, right where that happens, there is a complete cessation of all prapancha, the maya janita mithya illusory existence is all negated in the presence of pure knowledge, and this is called knowledge. This turiyam is not an experience. Turiyam is not an experience. Turiyam is not disassociation. We also went through this very deeply yesterday. I can only disassociate when I have associated. But consciousness has never associated with Maya. So because it has never ever associated, how can it disassociate? So it is not a disassociation. Is it an experience? No. Waking state is an experience. Dream state is an experience. Deep sleep state is an experience. Samadhi is an experience. When I come out of Samadhi, the Samadhi experience ends and the world experience starts. So Turiyam is ever present knowledge about my exclusive identity. The equipment, mind, facilitates me knowing that I am of the nature of knowing. Mind is also not required for the consciousness. Mind allows me to know that I am awareness. But actually, exclusive awareness is beyond the knowing of the mind, knowing of the intellect. The intellect has to disappear. The mind has to disappear. That is prapanchopashamam. Mind is part of matter, prapancha. It is a subtle matter. Intellect is also a matter. It is a subtler matter even than the mind. Even that has to disappear. So, prapanchopashamam, where exclusive objectless awareness remains, that is very important. Consciousness does not require mind to be consciousness, but mind is required to claim that I am consciousness. Big difference. Consciousness does not require mind to be consciousness. Mind is required to claim the fact that aham brahmasmi. It is a claim. It is a claim by whom? By a buddhi. It is required to claim that I am consciousness. But consciousness requires no mind. It is ever there. So prapanchopashamam, mind disappears. Not just the Jagrat, Swapna, Shushupti, we have negated all of that, but then why would he repeat again over here? Why would Shruti repeat prapanchopashamam? Subtle mind, subtle intellect with which I have negated everything. Without mind and intellect, I cannot negate the waker. Without the mind and the intellect, I cannot negate the dreamer. Without the mind and the intellect, I cannot negate the deep sleeper. So, nanta prajna, na bahish prajna, no bhayata prajna. Who says it? Mind says it. And that mind comes back over here. Shruti comes back and said, get rid of that mind, which claimed the disappearance of the avastha. So prapanchopashamam, and when that goes, exclusive shantam. Right now we only know of shantam because we have experienced ashanti. We know what ashantam is, what noise is, what disturbance is. And because we know what noise is and disturbance is, we have a concept of shanta. But mind is negated, prapanchopashamam. So how is shantam to be processed? This is known. I am shantam. Shivam, there is not even a wee bit of taint in my presence. My presence is so complete. It is pure auspiciousness, which is non-dual. That's why Advaitam comes. And to explain this, 48 shlokas will be taken in Advaita Prakaranam, and Prapanchopashamam, 38 shlokas will be taken in Vaitatya Prakaranam. Gaudapadacharya ji will take all of this. This is very important. And then Chaturtham manyante sa atma sa vigneya. This is the fourth, this is the fourth, this is the fourth. All this, it is said, and thus ekatma pratyasaram, meditate upon it. Pratyabhijna, locus of I am, I am, I am. I am is objectless presence. But right now I cannot even fathom that because I have no experience of that. I have only objective experience. So I can only infer objectless experience. So this is Turiyam. Now Gaudapadacharya ji feels that this mantra requires little bit of more explanation. And these karikas coming up 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, they shed some beautiful light on up to 18. So 10 to 18 karikas are shedding more light on this, and then exclusively he will dwell on Vaitatya Prakaranam, Maya, negation, Advaita Prakaranam, the non-dual abidance. So we will see Karika number 10. Nivrutte sarva dukkhanam,
Nivrutte sarva dukkhanam,
Ishanav prabhuravyayah,
Ishanav prabhuravyayah,
Advaita sarva bhavanam,
Advaita sarva bhavanam,
Devasturyo vibhusmrutah.
Devasturyo vibhusmrutah.
So this karika, very beautifully, it refers to Turiyam the fourth as Ishanaha. Ishanaha, please don't think Ishana as the Ishvara, the God. This is absolute. Over here, the absolute is referred to as this Turiyam, as a changeless. So, Nivruttehe sarva dukkhana. What is this Turiya? Turiya is absolute cessation of all sorrows. There are absolutely no sorrows. Sarva dukkhanam. Only that is there. Sukha dukkhanam is not here. Exclusively dukkhana. Because our torture and torment of Jagrat, Swapna, Shushupti is only dukkha. Sukha, if it is there, the sukha of the Atma Tattvam is what is enjoyed. So, Nivrutte sarva dukkhanam, cessation of absolute all types of sorrows, where Ishanaha, in this Lord, and who is this Lord? Prabhuhu. Prabhuhu, he is the omnipotent presence. And who is he? Omnipotent. He is Avyayaha, the imperishing, immutable, that which cannot be cleaved, immutable is this God. And more adjectives are used for this. Advaita sarva bhavanam. Sarva bhavanam, all types of entities which have come about. Advaita, it is absolute non-dual presence of all. It is complete one without the second, Sarva Bhavanam, in all plurality, in all pluralistic existence which has come, without a shadow of a doubt, it is one absolute, without the second, in the entire pluralistic world of appearance. It alone is. Devaha, Turiyaha, he is Deva, he is effulgent. Deva over here, don't think of Devata, Indra, Ityadi Devata in Devaloka. Over here, Dyotanat Deva, the effulgent one, the knowing principle, it is the knowing awareness. Devaha Turiyaha, it is the fourth. Vibhuhu, the all-pervading Smrutaha. So, Turiya, he adds more understanding to this fourth based upon Nanta Prajna, Na Bahish Prajna, No Bhayata Prajna, Na Prajnana Gana, Na Prajna, Na Prajna. All this, he's adding more to it, and he's saying that there is complete cessation of all sorrow. So, what is sorrow? Sorrow is an experience. So, it is a cessation of experience. Because what is my nature? The nature of awareness is pure, effulgent presence. Shantam, Shuddham. It is exclusively bliss. Shantam, Shuddham, Advaitam, and over here Dukkham. So that is something other than my own experience. So experience is negated. Nivrutte sarva dukkhana. All experiences are negated because sorrow is the rudimentary base experience born out of prapancha, born out of the fivefold world. So that is negated. Ishanaha, it is Lord. When it is said Ishana Prabhu Avyayaha, it is omnipotent, omnipresence, omniscience. When it is said Ishana, what does that mean? That means Turiya is the supreme most. There is nothing greater than that. That is what is implied. Fourth is the place to be, the state to be. Even though I keep on using the word state, it is only for the language. There is no such thing as state. It alone is. So, Hinduism is not a monotheistic religion. Over here it is said, it is monastic. It alone is. There is no second thing. Then what? So, the gamut of gods that we see in the temple, it is existence. So, Ishanaha, he is the being. Prabhuhu, Avyayaha, immutable, imperishing, non-dual. That means there is no second. Again, it is qualifying. Advaita Sarva Bhavana, of all plurality which has come about, all multiplicity which has come about. In fact, there is no multiplicity. It is one without the second. So, monastic again and again is established. Devaha, and it is not a dead monastic presence. It is effulgent presence. It is self-awareness, and that is Turiya. So, that he explained. Now, another Karika 11. Karya Karana Baddhau Tau
Karya Karana Baddhau Tau
ईष्यते विश्वतैजसौ
ईशते विश्वतैजसौ
प्राज्ञकारणबद्धस्तु द्वौ तौ तुर्येण सिद्ध्यतः
द्वौ तुर्येण सिद्ध्यतः.
This is a very important karika. A very important idea is presented in this. Please read Gurudev's commentary on it. Very important to understand this pure awareness consciousness. What does this karika say? Ishyate Vishwatejasau. Vishwa, the Vishwa and Tejas, the waking and the dream. Ishyate, they are considered to be Tau. What are they considered to be? Karya Karana Baddhau. The waking and the dream state are they are conditioned, bound, limited by Karya and Karan. So now, when we see the word Karya and Karan, we think of cause and effect. Cause is the clay, the effect is the clay pot. Cause is the gold and the gold ornament is the effect. This is how we see cause and effect. If there is something existing, there is a cause that gave birth to it. But over here, Gaudapadacharya ji is not referring to the clay and the clay pot cause effect. He is referring to cause and effect at a very deep level. At a very deep level, what is referred to over here as cause, this cause is ignorance. And the ignorance, because of the ignorance, there is known as effect. And what is the effect? The effect is the experience of the waking world. We have to connect the cause and effect in the context over here. The context is the Jagrat Swapna Shushupti. The context is the waking, the dream, the deep sleep. So, over here what is referred to as the cause is self-ignorance. Not just ignorance, but the highest ignorance. I don't know myself. When this equipment does not know its true nature, when I don't know myself, I will take myself to be something else. So the effect will be, I have not known I'm consciousness, so I have taken myself to be, I'm emotional, I'm angry, I'm not educated, I'm not rich, I'm poor, I am this, I am that. All this is called the effect. Our Gurudev's very famous word, non-apprehension of the reality leads to misapprehension of the reality. That is what is karya karana baddhastau. Gurudev gets that from here. That those words, non-apprehension of the reality leads to the misapprehension. That is Gauda Padacharya ji right here. He has clarified in this Vedanta Shastra that Karya Karana Baddhavstau, both the dream and the waking state is because there is ignorance of self-awareness. The self is not known to be the self, and when the self is not known to be the self is taken to be something else. And that something else is the genesis of the gamut of experiences which are to follow. Like a freight train in motion, it can never stop. It requires tremendous amount of distance for it to stop. The momentum is so much. The ignorance, the momentum is so much, it goes on for life after life after life after life after life. This ignorance of self-awareness. But this is only waking and dream. But in the deep sleep, prajnaha karana bandhastu. But in the deep sleep state, there is only ignorance. The ignorance, the self-ignorance has not perpetuated its suffering into effect. In the deep sleep state, that ignorance does not turn into any effect. And thus, it is a massive existence of pure void. There's no knowledge. Because there is absence of self-awareness. And when there is self-awareness, there is nothing but pure ignorance. And pure ignorance it cannot over here project itself. That projection is not there. So prajna, there is only self-ignorance. In the waking state, the self-ignorance leads to self-misconception. And the self-misconception are very many. And that is called the waking and the dream experience is the self-misconception. Why? All this happened because I did not know myself. And that is prajna karana baddhastu dvau tau turyena siddhyate. But both of this are not there in turiya. This is very important we understand this. In turiya, no ignorance. Meaning there is only self-awareness. And when there is only self-awareness, when it knows itself, how can there be misconception of one's own knowledge? If misconception came, that means knowledge was not knowledge to begin with. Then knowledge cannot be knowledge. So it is pure knowledge in the fourth, the waking state. Fourth, the ever awakened self. It alone is. But when the self loses itself, when the self loses itself, it becomes the waker and the dreamer. and in it losing itself, it creates misconceptions. This world is like this person is like this, I am not happy, I am always sad, this, that, goes on and on and on and on. And the misconceptions, they don't stop. They, wave after wave after wave, it arises because the truth is never known. It is like when somebody lies. In order to lie, I have to create 100 other lies to preserve a lie. But if I have spoken the truth, what do I have to do to prove the truth? The judicial system is there because a lie has to be exposed, but that lie creates 100 others. So a good lawyer has to figure out how to get rid of each one of them, to come to the truth. And 12 people have to come to decide as to what is truth. So truth requires no proof. But if it is a lie, oh, it goes on. That is why self-ignorance creates self-misconception, and the self-misconceptions are very many. Self-ignorance is one, I don't know myself. And when I don't know myself, finished. I have created a million other things. This is what this shloka is saying. It's very, very powerful. This also requires some contemplation. Very important. The conditioning of the waker and the dreamer are the cause and the effect. The cause being self-ignorance and the effect being self-misconception. But for the prajna, there is only self-ignorance. There is no misconception. And because there are no misconception, I wake up and I say, I had a good sleep. If I had 100 other misconceptions, I would be exhausted by those. Then the deep sleep, I would wake up from the sleep even more tired than when I have gone to bed. I get tired in the whole day because of the misconception. A jnani never gets tired. You see any jnani, how much do they sleep? Our Gurudev, my God, around the whole world, 2 hours, enough. Guruji, 2-3 hours. Half an hour, 45-minute nap he catches here and there. There's no exhaustion because there are no misconceptions. It is the all these misconceptions which exhausts and burdens this equipment. So the deep sleeper over here, equipment itself is suspended, but it projects complete void. Karanavastha projects only void. But because this is not there, so misconceptions are not there. This karika, you spend some time on it, think about it, very, very important. See, our success in meditation and our success in abidance in Turiya rests upon doubtless understanding. Shravanam, listening, exclusively this 1 hour, you read and come and you just listen. And after you go, you pick up and you make notes. And that becomes mananam. And when you have clear understanding, that will push you into nididhyasan, no doubts. And you will make a dive. You will make an internal dive into this infinite. It is like a movie character coming out of the movie and diving into the screen. How difficult is that? Virtually impossible. But that is what inception is. We have to make that dive in knowledge. That is it. Doubtless knowledge. Today I will end over here. I have to be somewhere, so I will end over here and come back in December. That week in December, we should have classes to finish these karya.